Hi everyone!
Thought it'd be a good time to do the backstory of Narrowboat Soul Mates and how it came to be, and show you some of the photos we got of the boat creation.
She's Ali.
He's Pete.
This is Ziga. And this is Narrowboat Soul Mates, more to explore.
Yes, well, as a youngster in Chester, I used to live just down the road from the canal. It's about 10 minutes walk, but I did a little bit of fishing, and I used to see the canal boats going past, so I always fancied living on one. And yeah, so that was something that Ali and I decided we'd like to do one day, and here we are.
Bearing in mind that we'd never actually set foot on a narrowboat, we decided in late summer 2018 to return to the UK and hire a narrowboat. We also did a helmsman certificate over a couple of days and made sure that narrowboating was actually something we could see ourselves doing in the future. We had such an amazing time and decided it was definitely for us.
Yes, we decided to buy a boat, so embarked on a journey around the various marinas to look for a boat. Eventually we found one at Mercia Marina, built by Andy Eato and Nick Fryer, and we decided that was the one.
We were delighted that via the new and used boat company at Mercy Marina, we were able to agree a price with Andy Eato, the boat builder, and to arrange for the boat to be handed over to us ASAP.
So then we had to work out how could we get from Mercia Marina up to Aqueduct Marina, where we could get the boat taken out of the water over the winter while we were back in Australia. So Ali managed to plan a route that took us 9 days, and of course there was the infamous breach at Middlewich branch, so we had to avoid that. So it took a little bit longer, but we managed to do that in 9 days. Our first ever voyage.
After leaving our boat in the very capable hands of the team at Aqueduct Marina, we headed back overseas, packed up all our belongings, and prepared for our return to the UK a few months later, including bringing Ziga over from Australia with us. So we were delighted to get back in the UK and to see our boat and to start our new life as continuous cruisers on the 1st of June 2019. The rest of this vlog will take you through the photos of the boat being built by Andy and Nick.
So a big shout out to Andy and Nick for sharing their photos for this vlog, so we can give you the tour of Narrowboat Soul Mates being built.
In order for Andy Eato boat builders to start work on this narrowboat, which they called number 5 at the time, you can see in these photos, this is the shell, in production by Tyler Wilson.
And boat number 5's shell gets delivered to Andy and Nick's workshop, and the boat build begins. We've got some photos here of the initial work on the boat, the installation, the boarding out is it called, and also the first steps of the wiring being installed.
While there was a lot happening on the inside of the boat at this stage, there was also the external paintwork being undertaken as well. So you can see in the photos the boat starting to look a bit different with colours.
It's amazing to see in the photos, seeing all the raw wood there just waiting to be made and machined and crafted by Andy into the beautiful inside of the boat that it is now. Yeah, we're just so impressed, and we just loved from the first time we saw it all the woodwork. It just blew our minds. We've shown you the quality of the work that's been done throughout the boat, but let's take you through each individual part now and go from there.
Here we have a reverse layout boat, and we'll take you from the bow to the stern.
Let's talk about the bow. We've got 2 lockers there. First one at the front, that's where we keep our gas bottles, 2 13-kilo bottles of Calagas, and connect those as required, from the empty one to the full one, take one out, get it changed. We've also got in there, because there's quite a big space, the anchor, which is a bit awkward to get in and out, but obviously you're not using it all the time, only when you're on the river. So that's that one. The next locker is quite wide. Underneath there is where the bow thruster tunnel is, and of course we had the bow thruster fitted, so it's now got some wooden planks across it, and that's where we keep the majority of our canal boat equipment, such as the windlass, the chains, etc., and also the empty toilet cassette, because we've got 2 at the moment, and anything else that needs to go in there, such as the water pipe for when we top up the water. One of the things Ali likes to do is obviously jump on and off the boat, hence we haven't got a cratch cover. We've thought about that, and it'd be good sometimes to protect when it's raining, but really we're quite happy with the pram cover at the back at the moment, and Ali is unobstructed when she climbs off and on the boat, which is good.
And I don't think we need any encouragement to have more storage, do we? We're still trying to get rid of stuff. So I know a lot of people say as a liveaboard you probably need to have more storage space, but we're trying to resist that at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, the only decent thing would be that you could sit out there when it's cold or, raining or damp, but the sun's out or whatever, and a nice little area. But to be honest, we can do that at the back if we need to do that.
Yeah. Being a reverse layout boat, as you come down the steps from the bow, the first section of the boat we come to is our bedroom. Under the steps, it's really great storage for all our shoes, and there's a big wardrobe for all of Pete's coats.
Yeah, all 26 of them by last, because Ali tells me there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothing for that weather. So I've got an assortment of coats.
So needless to say, there's no room for my coats. I think I've only got 1 or 2. But anyway, so there is lots of other storage though. So Andy made the frame for the bed, and it lifts up on a...
Some sort of like a pivot, and it's got like hinges, and it pivots up on some wood that you can open up either side to hold it in place while you forage down there to try and find something.
Yeah, so we don't go under the bed too often, but it is a fantastic storage for lots of things that we only get out now and again. And it does have 2 big under bed drawers. We've got 1 each of those, and there's cupboards over the bed. They're mine since Pete's got the wardrobe. and there's also a corner cupboard which Pete has laid claim to. The bed itself, so it's a reasonable sized bed, particularly when Andy also made a section that just slides out, and we have it permanently slid out, that extends it by over a foot. So we have a bit of a bolster mattress at the moment. Pete and Ziga have got loads of room on the bed. Well, Ziga has anyway.
Yeah, Ziga's got most of the room on the bed, and I've got the least. I'm in the middle, squashed.
And I'm on the edge near the wall, and invariably I find myself waking up in the gap in between the mattress and the bolster. So I'm still trying to talk Pete into getting a new mattress that's a slightly wider one. So
yes, that remains to be seen, I think, Ali.
Pete keeps saying it's not that old, but we'll see.
It feels comfy. I don't ever have a bad back from that. You know.
You don't, but I might. Anyway, so it is a reasonable sized bed for the three of us, and as Pete said, Ziga has most of that room. And my other favourite feature of the bedroom is the portholes. They are handmade by Andy, and I absolutely love them. That's one of my favourite things on the boat, just the workmanship that went into those. Yeah, so it's got everything we need in the bedroom.
I'd like to say one thing. Balls. Yeah. If a little tip for you, the problem with having a bed right up against the side of the boat, of course, is that it's cold and it can get condensation and start to go mouldy, which you don't want. So not long ago, I bought some tennis balls. We've now got those down the side of the bed, and it just keeps it 2 or 3 inches away from the actual, where the moisture could build up. And so far, so good. Just a little tip from Pete there. The shower room's next. Yeah, we're quite happy with what we've got in there at the moment. The shower's a decent size, got a proper shower screen, not one of those plastic cloth things. So yeah, that was definitely one of our main things, to have a proper shower, and it works very well. We've also got the toilet cassette in there at the moment, and that's been working generally well, but my back's starting to feel the pain, I think. So we're thinking about one of those compost ones, but we haven't investigated it fully, which we're about to do in the next month, probably. What else can I tell you? We've got secret underfloor heating. So when we've got the heating on from the radiators and the Webasto, the floor actually warms up. So that's nice when you get out of the shower. And we've got some cabinets which Andy made, which can take all of the stuff that we need in the bathroom, and obviously that can be quite a lot. One of the other things which we did think about originally was to have a walk-through bathroom, and yeah, it sounds a great idea, but in the end we liked the idea of the bathroom off the corridor, because basically at least whoever goes then to the loo or is in the shower, you can just walk through, no problems, if you've got guests on board, etc.
Next up is the saloon, where we spend most of our evenings. It's very cosy. It's great having the sofa bed that all three of us can sit on. Usually Pete and I hugging an edge each, and Ziga sprawled out across the middle. We've got bookcases, so we've got quite a lot of books. We love books. Don't get much time to read them, but we've got books, and we've got pictures up on the wall, so that's great, making it feel very homely. We also really love all the shelving that Andy put together when he was building the boat. So we've got lots of room to store DVDs and smaller books and games. We've got the TV and sound system as well. And we've got the beautiful bubble stove to keep us warm, and Pete's become a bit of an expert at getting that fire going. We don't let it run all through the night. We don't want to go through that much coal. It does the job perfectly. In fact, we have to open the windows quite often because it does get warm. It's always warm in winter. But yeah, it's just a very cosy space.
Now let's talk about the dinette. We had fixed views of this when we first started looking at narrowboats, and we were thinking we'd like an L shape. But after looking at quite a lot of narrowboats, we decided, yes, the dinette shape was the one for us, particularly on Soul Mates after we'd seen it. Some of the advantages are, obviously, we can both sit there opposite each other, if you've got a laptop each or an iPad or whatever, and work easily. There's good storage underneath the seats as well, so we can put lots of stuff there that we need handy, but obviously put away. And also we've got two sets of tables, although we only ever use the large table, to be honest, because that suits us just fine. And yeah, we can fit a computer screen on there as well if we need an extra screen for my poor eyesight. Occasionally Ziga gets invited up because of course he's got his own settee, hasn't he, normally, so but we do invite him up here. If he's looking a bit put out because he's not up here with us, we let him come up and lie down on the seat with us. And last but not least, there's this side hatch, and Ali opens this every morning during warmer times and get some fresh air in, and we can look right at the wildlife outside.
Well, I never thought I would say that the next section of the boat is one of my favourite spaces, and that is the galley. Yes, during the first lockdown in this pandemic, I actually took the time to learn how to cook. I waited until I was 49 years of age to start cooking.
Yes, come on, I used to do it all before that. That's not for 49 years, obviously.
But he did. Pete used to do everything in the house. But I've actually really enjoyed it, and I've never used so many herbs and spices in my life, and been cooking lots. So I actually spend quite a lot of time in the galley these days when we're not cruising, and I really love the space. I've rearranged all the cupboards about 3 or 4 times now, so I'm still getting used to what are the things I need the most. But yeah, there is plenty of space. It's just learning to get rid of what I don't need and bring to the front what I do to cook some decent meals.
Yeah, and I think the kitchen is really well designed. The surfaces are good. I think it's granite as the main work surface, and also the actual hobs. We've got 3 and they're spaced apart. So when you're doing all that wok cooking or cooking in the pan, it's easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
Well, when we have a look at the stern of the boat, we've got a semi-trad layout, which we think is great because it means we can shut the doors, and obviously we've got that pram cover now, and when we're cruising, even with the pram cover down, it's not cold because obviously the wind doesn't get to your lower part of your body. And also we've got a weed hatch there, which is one of those unsinkable ones they call, because it's totally separate to the engine bay. That makes it a lot easier. In terms of batteries in the engine, we've got a Vitus 42 horsepower engine, and batteries, we've got one engine battery for starting, and we've got 5 domestic batteries at 110 amps. So yeah, we're pretty pleased with how all that's working out. And we've also got either side of the stern a locker for keeping various things in. So that was how our boat looked after it had been finished, and we did, of course, brand new, although we didn't have it purpose built. Andy Eato and Nick Fryer built the boat, and yeah, we're really happy with it, and hope you liked having a look at those photos of the outline of the boat. And they've been so helpful in all the questions that we've fired at them over the following 12 months after we bought the boat, and asking about this and that and how that works, and they've been brilliant.
And also, very special thanks to Andy and Nick for sharing all these photos with us. They weren't our photos because we weren't there along the way as it was being built. We don't have any video, but it's great for us to just look back on how the boat was made, not just the finished product that we get to enjoy now. So thanks, Andy and Nick. While we were back in Australia packing up our house and getting ready to move back to the UK, we had a more in-store package for our boat at Aqueduct Marina in Church Minshall.
And that meant that it enabled us to have the boat taken out of the water and have some of those essential jobs that we thought we'd like done to the boat done before we came back from Australia to continuously cruise. So we had a bow thruster fitted, the tunnel was already there for that, and also all the blacking completed. Even though the boat was only 18 months old, as it was out, it just made more sense to have it done.
While the boat was out of the water on hard standing at Aqueduct Marina to have the blacking done, it was a great opportunity to contact Robert Nagy and get him to come and do some sign writing for us at the same time.
Yeah, he'd been recommended as a great sign writer, and we'd seen some examples of his work. So I managed to put together some sort of design based on something I'd found and paid for on the internet, and put those together, and he then sent back and said, yep, I can do that, and arranged to get that sorted for us. And as we're into soul music, and I produce a soul radio show every week, yes, obviously we had to have the record player and the notes in there, and some records on the back, Motown records, of course. After all that was done, of course, we were still in Australia while it was being done. We came back over to the UK and were ready to start cruising for the summer of 2019. And of course, we had Ziga shipped across, and he followed us 2 or 3 days later. So he was ready to start his career as a narrowboat dog. And also, we're able, of course, because of that, to get some footage of the relaunch of Narrowboat Soul Mates into Aqueduct Marina, and we'll just give you a little bit of a flavour of that.
Wow, that was so amazing watching our boat go into the water for the first time for us. Second time for the boat itself, but yeah, that was just brilliant. And to top it off, the very next day we went and picked up Ziga from the airport. He'd come over from Australia too. So now we had our complete family and our boat was complete, our new home.
Yes, the thing we needed to do next was to do some planning. What did we need? What should we get? We also decided we needed some extra equipment, so we paid a visit to Midland Chandlery and got various things. Some more fenders. Ali likes the books, of course, the guides, so we purchased some of those, and just to get us more complete as to what we need for our continuous cruising.
And we even picked up some life jackets in preparation for an upcoming very short trip on the River Trent as we made our way across to the Relaunch Canal. After using some camping chairs for the first few weeks we were on our boat, I checked out the recommendations on the various Facebook groups from narrowboat users and decided that we'd go along with Sofa Bed Barn in Bradford, where we got our sofa bed from. And big thumbs up to them. They were really good to work with and they could design it around the exact dimensions that we had available.
Yes, and it arrived actually in, I think it was 2 parts. They delivered it to us, brought it in and assembled it. It's pretty easy from what they tell me to assemble it, but they did it for us because it doesn't cost any extra, so you might as well have the experts do it. And some of our friends have slept on it and tell us that it's, yeah, very comfy. And of course I get about 1/10 of that because Ziga's got most. Ali's on one end, I'm on the other, occupying, probably one cheek hanging off the side, even though it's quite a big settee.
The next job to be done with our boat was to get solar panels installed. Extremely important for us as continuous cruisers living off grid, as we don't have ready access to power.
Yes, and we'd seen onboard energy mentioned by Journey with Jono, and that was very interesting because, as you know, he's a detail guy, Journey with Jono, and ordered our equipment and panels from there, picked it up, and I got my brother, who's a bit of an electrical guy, to come and help me install it. Well, he did most of the work, I just helped here and there. But yeah, definitely essential for continuous cruisers. And since then it meant that we've hardly had to run the engine. Yes, the panels that we bought were 3 times 360 Victron solar panels and a Victron MPPT controller. So we've got 1080 watts at our disposal if everything's going great. And the final thing that we had fitted to the boat for the moment is the pram cover.
Tim and Hazel from Cratch Covers and Canopies, who are now based at Venetian Marina, did the job for us, and they were really lovely to deal with. They were fantastic at the time, and we had some issues going on and they actually came to our boat and met us to make things easier. So big thumbs up to them. So after all of these things were added to our boat, we were ready to set off and go happily cruising along on the network.
With that, we will probably give you a walk through the boat after all our shipping arrived from Australia. It took quite a bit of time. The company went bust. I won't talk about it till then. But basically, yeah, how do we get all that stuff in our boat? And we'll give you a walk through what it looks like now. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this vlog on the birth of Narrowboat Soul Mates. If you did, click the like button. We've just gone through 500 subscribers, so we're well chuffed. And if you'd like to subscribe, click that button. We'd love you too. Thanks for now. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time.